Gents, back again.
We are.
Episode 3.
Yes.
Me in the hot seats.
I'm
It
looking
is.
forward to
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm still recovering from myself being in the hot seat. So it's good to get a bit of post-traumatic stress.
That was good. Uncovered some good stories, which are great.
I'm
Yes.
looking forward to hearing some good
Yes.
stories about you, Tim.
Yeah.
So
Well, normally it takes a few more drinks to get those stories out of me, Tristan. So we'll see what we come up with today.
we can work on that. Maybe we just pause the podcast for a moment. We'll just come back an hour later or something like that.
If anyone knows Tim, if you're looking to get him a drink, it's a martini.
Yeah.
Olives.
Gin
No lemon
martini.
twist.
No.
Shaken or stirred?
Shaken.
Shaken.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So it doesn't taste the same.
Doesn't taste the same.
It's
Yeah.
not the same.
Clearly, we're expert minds.
So Tim, I guess I'll take your role for a moment. Jamie, you can jump in. But
Yeah.
Tim, we're really firstly we're really grateful to have this podcast with you. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Episode 3, going strong. Thank you to all the awesome clients that are listening in as well. And today, for all our listeners, we have the topic is you. So hopefully easy to talk about.
Hopefully.
Yeah, for us, we're me and Jamie. We're like ready to listen. So we're
Exactly. Give us a brief introduction to what it is that you do to help, I think, most Australians with their dreams of buying Aussie property. I think.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about the business first. So, for those that don't know, I run a mortgage brokerage up in Singapore called Aussie Expat Home Loans. We do mortgage broking for expat Australians. So my whole goal around the business was, you guys know, I put a lot of work into client experience, and just making sure that, we give our clients the best experience from start to finish, because anyone that's gone through the process with me borrowing money, it can be a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
Can be a bit tedious, but we try our very best to make it as easy as possible for people, because it is possible. The biggest misnomer I get from a lot of new people that I talk to is that they think they can't borrow, or that other brokers have told them they can't borrow, or that there's no solutions for them, but there definitely are out there. You just need to know where to go.
I think that's the hardest thing is buying a property can be stressful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buying Australian property, because how expensive it is, can be even more stressful.
Yes.
So there's a lot of, emotion at play. And obviously the feedback that I get from people working with you is just you help from that and go above and beyond.
It's the
great.
biggest purchase that most people do in their life. Yeah. And obviously the money is a big part of that. So, I love it. I love what I do. We really hold our client's hand through that whole process, and just to reassure that it doesn't need to be as difficult as you think it's going to be, and we will make the money appear at the end. You will get the house. It's okay. So
waves the magic wand, and there it is. It is done. Maybe if we can start with you. Why Singapore? Why did you leave Australia? Maybe a little bit about you when your kind of departure to Australia.
I mean, it's been my whole life has been a very random journey of a lot of different types of fate at different types of times. But it's funny. I've moved all around, and I'll get into some of that in a minute. But a lot of that moving around and working in different places is one of the reasons I think we do really well here, is that I've lived in various states, looked after clients in various jurisdictions, all the way from retail, people buying their first home, to obviously big private banking clients. So it's been a journey, but I always say everything I've gone through so far has really set me up well for where the business is right now. I grew up in Brisbane, so out in Cleveland, for any other Brisbaneites that are there, out on the bay, born and bred, and right in the suburbs.
You say it's God's country up there, as they say.
Yes. It's the place to be these days.
Yeah,
so it's come a long way.
Exactly. Property prices are certainly going that way as well.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. There's a lot of investment, there's a lot of economic, there's a lot of investment happening there now. So
the next 7 years will be the focus of the world with the Olympics. So,
yes.
Hopefully, as long as we can build a few stadiums before then.
There's a lot there. So all my family's still there. My dad and my brother's still there. I started very, very unorthodox background. So at school I studied music. So I actually studied to be an orchestral musician. I went to the conservatorium in Brisbane, but dropped out because I kind of just burnt myself out I think anyone that, especially if you've got any kids that are doing this, or anyone that's done anything that's it's about high performance, you can, I spent the last 2-3 years of my high school, like literally just doing music every day. And you work so hard for that one day to get the audition, because to get in, you have to audition. And, it's very competitive. I think my year that I went in, they took 6 of us, but there was like 80, 100 people that auditioned to get in.
Trying out for
so you got to really push yourself, and then once you get there, you think you're the best in a smaller pond, and then you get there, everyone's at the same or as even way better than you. And I think I was just young. I kind of really burnt myself out and wanted to take a little break and just do something completely different, because it had kind of consumed my whole life. So I got a job doing a traineeship as a bank teller at NAB. Carindale Shopping Centre was my first gig.
Yeah, fantastic.
Is it still open today?
It's
the banks are shutting down a lot.
Still around. It's a big shopping centre in Brisbane. So,
can you still, get money out from a person there?
You can, but probably limited to $3,000.
Yeah.
These days they don't carry a lot. So, but to be honest, it was a brilliant training ground, because this was the mid 2000s. Handling a lot of cash, dealing with a lot of customers, was really like, I cut my teeth very quickly. Can you imagine, like, I went from pure academics, pure music, to suddenly sitting at a bank branch and dealing with all this. I'd worked in hospitality before, similar to you. So my very first job ever was washing dishes at a restaurant in Cleveland.
Mine was a chef at the back of KFC restaurant.
Yes.
11 herbs and spices. I'll never tell the recipe.
A few drinks will get it out of you, Jamie. I'm sure.
And then I worked in restaurants up until I got the gig at NAB. So that was good training, because obviously anyone that's worked in hospitality knows you've got to deal with a lot of very difficult people sometimes.
It's about client services as well.
It is.
There's a lot of empathy. You put yourself in their shoes and
100%.
having that relationship with a client. It does, I suppose, bode very well in terms of that client relationship and being able to relate and help service clients.
Definitely. And I think there's a lot to be said about people that also work way from the ground up and go into some of these relationship jobs as well, because I've seen all types of people, especially those first few years at NAB when I worked in branches. So I was in various parts of like Brisbane, like West End and Stones Corner and Carindale and Wynnum, like some a couple of them that are a bit rough, and you'd see some all types of people in there. But it really does open your eyes to kind of what's the word? Looking after everyone, no matter where they come from.
And also don't judge a book by its cover, right? That's a big thing, especially in Singapore.
Definitely learnt that up here, actually. Some of my wealthiest clients, you wouldn't know it. I can tell you that. But
you see a Ferrari turn up at a hawker centre and they go buy the family food for like $10 and they get back in their Ferrari.
I did my traineeship with the bank, and by that time I wasn't ready to go back to music. So I ended up NAB wanted me on full time. I moved to Melbourne, so I worked down in South Melbourne branch and a couple of others, but mainly South Melbourne.
Where the famous Dim Sims come from.
Yes. It was my
pop out for lunch, a few dimmies, and back to the bank.
And look, I love Melbourne. Melbourne was great for me. I was there for about 7 years, and my time at NAB there was really great too. So I was working in branches. I was working as like a home lending manager. Then I worked in their credit team. So that was probably the best job I ever had, because this was like
apart from now,
yeah. I mean, when just at the bank. So because you were just literally all day, you just get an application, you decide, am I going to approve this or not? So you were the one with the power.
Nice. Very nice.
But I loved it. And it was in 2000. It was like 2009, 2010. So it was just after the GFC as well. So we saw a lot of just crazy crazy scenarios, and especially if anyone remembers back then, the Gold Coast was like devastated economically then. Like we had a lot of clients that had purchased off-plan properties that, when you got the valuation done, 40-50% less than what they paid for them. So it was a good time to cut your teeth. Then from there I worked in, so my last kind of 2010 to 2015 I was in private banking with NAB, all the way. I was working here, but so about 5 years working in Melbourne. My first job was looking after Goldman Sachs partners and JB Weir partners, and that was when Goldman Sachs did their restructure after the GFC as well. So that was a very interesting interesting time to be there. A lot of bloodletting. Again, gave me a lot of perspective on
And you learn a lot,
on investment
right?
banking and just very, very interesting people to talk to. And then I moved to Perth. So back in 2013 to 2015. So I was there for 2 years. And I was there. 2013 was right when the boom was happening, but then it fell off very, very quickly. So again, it was very interesting to go at a time, and it was like really on, but then really off very quickly. I think I remember our rent was this some crazy price. I think and this is again 10, 12 years ago. It was like $1,200 a week when we moved there, but within the space of within 2 years, it had dropped to like $740 or something. So it had like just went down.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Were you dealing with much distressed credit then as well?
I was in private banking then, so we didn't have a lot of distressed clients. Fortunately, a lot of them managed it really well. Again, a very interesting place to be because Perth's a small town, and I was kind of working in their ultra high net worth team, and all the kind of big families that you can think of that are there, and we were dealing with them and dealing with their offices, and just all of it really, really great experience. And especially on the lending side, we were those were the days in private banking where we did everything. So I was doing commercial developments, big apartment towers, pubs, hotels, as well as like big high-end properties as well. So I kind of I loved it. I was definitely NAB indoctrinated by then as well. They'd always looked after me.
Drinking from the Kool-Aid.
But 2015, my ex at the time got a job up here, so we made the move up to Singapore. It was, I think, I was really, really excited to be able to have the chance to live overseas because it's something I'd always wanted to do, and just, life had not really gotten to that point yet. But obviously coming over here, very much the same realization that you guys have. I came at a time that they were really, all the banks were going into hiring freezes. So I had a couple of job offers rescinded. ANZ offered me a job, and then 2 weeks later said, we're in a hiring freeze. We can't offer to you. I think it was HSBC was another one. I was talking to Bank of Singapore, then they changed their strategy. So it was a lot of I would kind of get to a certain point, and then it just would not quite get there. So it was a bit disheartening. I won't lie. It was I think for me especially, the best thing that came out of it was I might have mentioned this in the other episode. I used to just go on LinkedIn every day, and I used to look for other Australians that worked in banking up here to try and find a job. And the best thing ever is, when I decided to start my business, all of those people are my clients now. So at the time it was a really disheartening thing, and it was a struggle. But again, I talk about certain things with fate. It really, really turbocharged my network when I first started my business. So
you
eventually,
have to put yourself out there, and it's like we've all come from that kind of real, I think, successful career in Australia, and then you come overseas, you're like, whoa, this is a much bigger bigger thing. But and you kind of press that reset button, and it is hard. I think I was on 100+ applications just to send.
I stopped after a while. I think the same thing. I used to put in 10 every morning, and then I don't think a single one ever called me. Maybe one. And it's funny because when before you come over, you look on the job site, right, and you think, oh, there's all these amazing jobs here, and I just have to apply for them, and they're going to definitely want to talk to me. And absolutely no way.
And I can take my pick, and life's going to be good.
Unless you have a very specialized skill set. I've learned it's very hard to get through the HR portals here. So. But no, eventually NAB did find me a job, which I was, again, very, very thankful for. They were great. But I just started work, and I think 5 months later, they decided they were pulling out of Asia. So I kind of started to get my feet, and then, but again, it's, I was very, very lucky because I was able to, I took a package, I took a retrenchment with them. But getting retrenched was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. So, because sometimes in life you can get very comfortable and think you want to just be in a certain place, but this was a big push for me to go, what do I really want to do next? And I had, by that time, again, I say this as well, once you've got your first job here, it becomes a lot easier because you just build more of a network and people know how you work. But I had a couple of other jobs lined up, but they were at other international banks. But I remember just being like, I don't want to do this
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. That's
It's
great
just
thing
not
to-
like, I've been doing this for 12 years now, and what else is it that I can do? Because I think anyone that's worked at a bank knows that you can get very burnt out and kind of a bit over it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was very, very lucky. So in mortgage broking, we have something called an aggregator, which is there are big companies in Australia that help us manage the relationships between all the banks. And so one of the co-founders of the aggregator that I use, Finshaw, he reached out to me on LinkedIn very randomly because he just moved here for other reasons and other businesses that he had, and said he wanted to pick my brain on things. And it was right when I was leaving. He's like, I've got this mortgage broking aggregator. Have you ever thought about it? You've got all the experience and all the news to do it. And so yeah, I took a moment when, I don't know, do I want to do this? Because it's funny when you work in the bank, they tell you mortgage brokers are absolutely evil and that they're just out to steal your clients. And we hated mortgage brokers.
Yeah.
This is 10 years ago. The industry's come a long way in that time. So I was like, oh, do I want to be one of those?
One of the dark side.
Yeah. But then the thought of there's not an equivalent type of job up here. The international banks don't do Australian property and even just other property lending in the same way that we do it back home. So I have all these skills. What am I going to do with it? And so fortunately, I took a punt. I'm like, okay, I'll start this. I'll get it going. I'll see if it's got any legs or not. And 7.5 years later, still
I'm thankful you are, mate, because you've looked after a lot of my clients. So it's good. That would have been, I suppose, an extremely difficult time for you to go through that. Obviously, taking that plunge. And tell us a bit more about that time in terms of obviously setting up a business offshore. Maybe that's a interesting part of it, but then also kind of growing that business as well. Obviously, you were a one-man band at the start, and you've got a successful team around you. Maybe go through a little bit more detail about setting up business offshore, and then also how do you expand that business and grow that business.
I'd really love to know, what was the very first thing you did? Day one, Tim woke up, said...
I came up with the name. That was my first thing.
Yep.
So I came out what am I going to call my business? And then I was like, I want someone to be able to look at our brand and they know exactly what we do.
Yes. Australian Expat Home Loans. I've got no idea what they do.
That's true.
And I mean, it served us well so far. And, so that was number one. And then I guess I got good accountancy advice to set all the companies up and what do the structures need to look like. And, they approved my visa, and I'm still thankful to the Singapore government for that. So, because it's like I said, it's the opportunity that it's given me here. And, it was the first couple of years, it was literally me in my room, just doing everything myself from start to finish. So I think it's going to kind of talking about the business side of it. When you start any business, right, you've got to think about, how do I get people in the door? How do I get people want to work with me? So the first year, especially in any mortgage broker will tell you the first year is the hardest, because in mortgage broking, it takes a long time from the day you see someone sometimes to the day they actually buy or settle on their loan. So it was a lot of coffees. It was a lot of just me reaching out to all my old clients, even just anyone that would want to talk to me, and just really kind of slowly built it organically from the ground up. But the biggest thing that I love here is that, everyone, and it's probably the same for you guys with your clients, every client is so appreciative of service here. And being able to see you, being able to look you in the eye, being able to solve problems and just get things sorted together. Again, this was back in 2017, 2018. So everything was paper-based. Would be, I'd be out signing and doing everything with them. It was very, very manual, but it was the time of the Royal Commission too. So the lending landscape was very, very tough. It was probably the hardest time ever to start the business, just from an options and a lending perspective. But in a way, I'm really grateful for that, because you get put into the fire and you've it's only up. It's only up from there.
Exactly.
So, and it taught me a lot about getting things right, getting the systems together. I think in terms of where it started really growing was during COVID. That was a very surreal experience from a business perspective. It's I started to put staff on at that point. So my first staff member was middle of 2020, and then by the middle of 21, I think I had 3. It was you know, it went from me really having to grind and, you know, we'd still done well for 2 years. Like I'd still, you know, by all metrics, we were still growing and growing, but it wasn't, you know, it was still just me. It was almost like a sole consultancy, right? Yeah. So COVID, everyone being at home, I can't begin to tell you what it was like, just what happened with my phone, with the internet inquiries. Like nothing had changed in terms of my advertising or how I was marketing myself. If you remember as well, everyone thought the property market was going to fall off an absolute cliff. One of
it was sideways and down a little bit at the start of 2020, but then after
there was a good 2-3 months.
There's
a good 2-3 months where I'll never forget, and we'll probably get this client on. Hopefully, he bought a place in Freshwater for like, I think it was $4 million, and the valuer valued it at like 10 or 20% less than what he paid for it. And Freshwater, Sydney is like, you know, prestige property, and that place must be, it'll be worth a lot more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, and you know, at the time it was really stressful because we were just like, what are we going to do? But it just shows you how things can really like change so quickly too. So by the second half of 2020, we grew exponentially. I had some really good lenders come in. So COVID for me was when I really got to actually build it into something that was, you know, wasn't just about me necessarily. Yeah. Now, you know, I built a team around me. And then, the last kind of 2 years has been the next chapter after that. So I've been very lucky. Like we've been able to expand our offices. So I have another office up in Hong Kong now. So I've got a broker working with me up there. His name's Sean. I'll get him on at some point, but he's been absolutely brilliant. And we've got a business down in Melbourne too, which different name, Urbane Finance. If anyone that's my client, you probably see some marketing for it. But I really wanted to create a world or an ecosystem where we can look after clients, not just up here, but also when they go back to Australia as well, and kind of do the whole journey with them. Because the reality is, just the longer you're here, the more and more people do go home every year. And I want to still be able to bring the same level of service that we give up here to our clients back home as well. So it's turned into a whole thing now. I think we'll have like 20 staff soon and multiple brokers, and it's been a journey, that's for sure.
It's a journey, but you put the hard yards in, and it's very successful for you. I'm sure there's still going to be some challenges ahead in the future as well. It's not like the challenges stop at that point in time. You're part of being in Singapore. What's your favorite thing about being up here or being offshore?
Probably 2-3 things for me that are the most important. And the first one is, everyone says that it's travel.
Exactly.
Especially now that I travel a lot for work, because I'm up in Hong Kong. I'm back in Melbourne quite a lot. So being in the center of everything, if I want to go somewhere, that's the number one. And obviously it's the Singapore life. I love to get away when I can. So
and back to Jamie's question in my podcast, what's your favorite destination?
I go to Thailand a lot, so it's probably Bangkok's one of my favorite places. I think I don't know, I love getting away. I love Hong Kong as well. And then anytime I can get to Europe as well, it's probably my top. But in Asia, Thailand for sure.
Number one.
100%. And then second would be the opportunity that Singapore's given to me to be able to build a business here, to be able to create something that I probably never would have been able to do back home or build it in the same way. And yes, like our loans are a lot more difficult to write, but the clients that I have here are just such appreciative people. And I think it's, most of my business was born out of word of mouth in the first especially the first 3 to 4 years, and being part of a community here, being part of something where all of us have a shared experience and a common experience. And you can just literally, we go to any event, any new Australian that you meet, you can instantly just be able to talk about your experience here and have something in common.
Well, someone says property is Australia's number one sport.
Yes.
Everyone participates in it. Everyone wants to be part of it, and it's true. Bricks and mortar is a massive, and I think it's a generational thing, right? So, my parents, they've all enjoyed success through buying property. And it's just one of those things that I suppose it comes from generations ago. And again, the Australian dream, maybe not the American dream, but it's having that white picket fence and the house that you could live live in for most people. So it's very easy to talk to people about
Yeah, 100%. And probably the last one. So yeah, obviously I talked about my geeky hobby. So I still the best thing that ever happened to me is, after I stopped going to music school, I kind of gave up playing for a long time. I studied clarinet I don't know if I mentioned that before, but
you didn't. I was waiting on a gap to ask you about it. So this is because I'm going to go watch you this Sunday too.
You are.
Yes.
You're a big supporter of my concerts.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Tristan. So yeah, before I moved to Singapore, I hadn't played for a long time. 7, 8, 9 years. So when I first moved here, obviously I had a lot of time in my hands, and I thought, what am I going to do with that time? So I started getting lessons with one of the players from the SSO again. I started auditioning for orchestras here, and one of the great things in Singapore is actually there's a million different community groups, and even you could be at like the most basic community group here, there's still 50 string players at the front giving it their all as well. You try and do the same thing in Australia, maybe people don't keep it up in the same way that they do here. So but I've had some really cool experiences. My first year that I moved here, I got to do a music tour with the Singapore Wind Symphony. We went to Korea for 2 weeks.
Cool.
So I'd never been to Korea before. I'd never been in a country where not everyone speaks English. So that was and I'd never been on a bus with Singaporeans hearing very heavy Singlish accents for the whole time. So that was my baptism of fire, just trying to understand the culture a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. No, that is good.
But I loved it. It was a great way to just get out of the bubble as well. And there's nothing like a tour bus to be able to do it. So, so I still, I don't have the same amount of time I used to now, unfortunately, but I still try and play at least 3-4 times a year. I have a couple of orchestras that I still get to perform with.
We'll have to get you to do like an intro to the podcast.
Exactly.
Really getting him out of his comfort zone.
I have some of my performances on YouTube if you want to see them. So
very
but
good.
it's
I promise I won't sing.
Please don't. I won't either.
Jamie at karaoke. It's the world is
not a good thing. Yeah, world's best monotone.
But just opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get it at the same level that I get back home. So it's another big reason that I love to stay here.
Yeah.
Now to steer it back to shop talk, and this is always, for me as a tax accountant, referring clients to you is always super easy because you're responsive, you're sort of cool, calm, even you've got a very cool head even when things go pear-shaped, which is they sometimes do with banks, as we're all aware. And so it's always an easy referral for me to send clients down your way. But when's the best time for a client to come and chat to you if they're thinking of buying a house? So
I think look, it's probably the most key part of the process, but there's different kind of stages to it because, we really help set the budget, right? And so for a lot of people, they are like, I want to do this, but can I actually do it? Is the bank going to give me the money to do it? So, look, I don't get too precious on it being too early or I appreciate it if it's earlier than late, obviously. I don't like it when people have bought the house and call me and go, settling in 2 weeks.
Solve this problem for me.
yes.
Would be nice to have a little more time. But, there's clients that I work with for honestly 1 or 2 years sometimes. And I, as a business, we still don't charge fees because I've always found we look after our clients. And even if it takes them a while to do it, if we've done multiple pre-approvals and they still haven't found something,
I might be guilty of that myself. I'll blame it on my lovely wife, which keeps changing jobs. So
it's as a business, it does cost us money each time. But I find from a service perspective and from a relationship perspective, we build really good relationships with our clients over that period. And I would rather we look after you, we get the right outcome for you, and hopefully that means you want to stay with us as well, and obviously refer your friends
builds
to us.
Builds that goodwill,
too.
builds that trust, builds that loyalty, and that's what gives you that long-term relationship.
Yeah, for sure. So I've always just, I tell my team very simply, like our whole job is to make the process as easy as possible for our clients, and we need to anticipate as much as we can ahead of the process for them. So people don't get caught out because the number one thing that gets the most stressful for most clients is when you get to the pointy end and things are not as organized as they should be, which we all know you've probably had those calls as well. But yeah, the short answer is, if you want to find out how much you can borrow, we're always just happy to talk, and we can at least do rough numbers and work out what things look like to start off with. You don't have to go through a full application to work that out.
And a common question a lot of clients ask me, and I give them a bit of a standard answer, but fixed or variable?
It really depends on the time. There's a couple of factors. So, and how do I put it? So there's the main reason that I always think about fixing a loan. Rate is obviously rate, right? But the biggest reason you should want to fix is to be able to have rate certainty. If you want to know that your cash flow is going to be consistent and the same for a period of time, and you don't want to stress about things going up or down, that's the whole purpose of having a fixed rate. So, because the reality is it's a gamble. You're kind of taking a punt on where you want things to go. Sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose. The only time that we were for sure going to win is during COVID, when all the rates were 2.5%. You could never lose out when you fixed over that period. Any other time, even at the moment, right? So they're, average investment rate at the point of filming this, it might be before hopefully the next rate cut in the next couple of weeks. The average investment rate for now is like around 6.1, 6.2. There are investment rates that are 5.5, maybe 5.6%. So yeah, you could from today bank a 0.5% saving if you fix the rate. But it depends on how long you're going to fix for. And then you're kind of trying to forecast where things are going to be in the next 1 to 2 years. We can get a feel for it. Obviously, I love economics. I like to try and read the tea leaves as much as anyone, but I always think you've got to go into it eyes open and know there's very few cases where 100% you're going to win on where rates are going to go. So
there's teams of analysts that sit within banks that make these calls. So that's the hard thing. Like I'm saying that you wouldn't be making it, but I know that mum and dads out there can sometimes say, well, I'm going to fix this rate because it's 0.5% less, and then
look, and a very common strategy for us is if someone wants to have some rate certainty, or they want to, we can also do split loans. So you can do someone fixed, someone variable as well. There's other considerations around fixed or variable. The other big reason that people keep their loans on variable, and this is the biggest reason for a lot of our clients, is just repayment flexibility. You can take a variable rate loan out and pay it out the next day if you want, and there's no repayment penalties for doing that. So for a lot of our clients that are up here and get good bonuses at a certain point in the year, or just really want to maximize offset facilities, then most of the time, especially at the moment, people like to just have the flexibility of having variable there.
Now, I guess getting back to the grassroots of our this awesome podcast is sort of talking about experiences. So, has there been any sort of client experiences? And sorry, this is a question without notice, Tim. But any client experiences you've had, good, bad, or ugly, or indifferent, that you've learned from, or any kind of general flavour of, like if you had a message to Tim 7.5 years ago, who was just opening up Aussie Expat Home Loans, versus Tim now, like what would the Tim now say to the Tim back then about looking after clients, or learnings, or even just any specific stories? So pretty general there. What do you reckon, Jamie?
Three in one, that question.
I guess there's kind of two parts to it, right? There's me, the mortgage broker, and then there's me, the business owner. So, and they're obviously very connected, but it's changed a lot from being me in my room, or me with 1 or 2 staff, to me having a team of people I need to lead now as well. The first 3-4 years, I'm a very stable, and I try and be a very rational person, but I also take everything with my clients very personally too. So especially in those early days, every single deal I was doing was like very personal to me. The process back then was a lot more arduous too, because it was a lot more manual. The guidelines that the banks would issue would kind of move around quite a bit. I was, especially the first year, just really trying to find my feet as well and work out where I was. So I used to have a lot of sleepless nights, or a lot of 3 a.m. Mid-morning wake ups, and be like, oh my God, am I going to get this approved today? Or if it's not approved, what am I going to do for this client? Like I used to carry a lot of stress in the first kind of 3-4 years. Thankfully, and again, because so much of it relied on me back then too, you feel a lot of weight on your shoulders, especially when you're taking people through that process. The fortunate thing I have now is that I have such an amazing team around me that we know what we're doing now.
Yeah.
We have such, I've got such good talent, or even all my support team. If they, especially my loan writers, right? Someone will give us everything and they'll pick out if there's going to be a problem, or, okay, we want to do this, but it's going to be an issue later on. So, the best thing I've learned is to invest in the people around you and really invest in your team, because I'm very lucky. I don't stay up stressing about deals anymore, because I haven't had anything blow up in the same way that it used to back in the early days. But we also
it's also the learnings as well, because borrowing money for anyone who has as an expat is challenging.
It is.
Even borrowing money in Australia can be challenging. There's they put your tax on it. Overseas, there's some companies that put FX rates on it. They charge you Australian taxes. So there's all of these different learnings that you've learned over the last 10 years as an expat trying to get someone a loan. There's always, I know from experiences that the banks keep changing their lending requirements, and I think that's part of the main benefit of using your services is who to speak to depending on what it is. If you're an employee, you've got a salary that comes through, you've got clients who have just started their own business, which is very difficult to do, but you know how to work with these kind of clients. And I think your knowledge base on back of your experience is what enables you to sleep and it's one of the things that my clients have benefited from those relationships as well. So
we also our industry, what I could do 12 months ago, what I could do 24 months ago, it's very different. Our lender options, banks come in, banks come out, they tinker around with different things, they've got different appetites. Right now we're in a, touch wood, really good period where we've got some really good lender partners that are just very consistent. And we also, again, the best thing is my team have just gotten much better at anticipating and making things easier for people too. So I appreciate that as well.
Being on the front foot, you have to do that.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, very true. And in terms of you personally, like traveling Asia, experiencing Asia, I know you like Europe. What is it about being here? Obviously, you've got the travel. You said was probably the number one thing. How often do you get to switch off? Running a business is very difficult from that side. I don't think as a business owner you do get to switch off. Having a phone is a blessing and a curse, right? You can answer your emails or answer your phone anywhere. WhatsApp's a great example of that.
Yes.
But is when you do switch off, where do you want to go, or what do you do?
It never really leaves you. So even when you're trying to have a break,
you mine and Tristan's fault.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
You can't help yourself. You can't help it. But the difference is now, when I was working at the bank, I won't lie, it did feel like a chore most of the time. Even now, I always say the worst day I have doing this job is still better than the best day I ever had at the bank, because yes, it's really tough sometimes. Yes, you go through really difficult challenges. So many different things get thrown at you, especially on the business side, but it's all worth it at the end of the day, because if you put the hard work in, it will come back to you in spades, and you have a lot more control on your kind of outcome in your future as well. So but if I I think what was the question?
Do you switch off, which is a no, and where do you go if you do switch off? So.
I don't. So I don't go anymore.
It's it's a blessing and a curse. When the business is growing, it's we're actually at a very interesting point, because I switched off less when I had 3 staff compared to now when we almost have almost 20 now. But it's once people get a lot more self-sufficient and can run themselves a bit more, and I don't need to be in. The best thing I've learned as a business owner is to let go of things, because
empower the employee, which is good.
And it's it's the hardest thing to learn, because especially if you did it all yourself, you want to have your hand in everything to make sure it's still the way that you do it. But you've got to, especially my staff that have been with me for long enough, I trust them, so they know what I need now. So
it's because you care about client outcomes, and you want to make sure that whether it's you or someone else within your team, the client gets the same experience and the same bit of care.
For sure. Being a leader and leading a team was not something that was very natural to me. It's been I wouldn't say it's the hardest skill. It's probably just it was the most unnatural skill for me to learn, because I was so used to just managing myself, controlling my own processes, and just being like, why do I have to do all this stuff? Can't you just do your job, kind of thing?
Well, it is. Leading a team is difficult, and people struggle with it. I've had good leaders and who I've looked up to, and I've had mediocre leaders who I've looked up to as well. So,
but I think I always just, I don't want to run my business like a corporate because, I worked at a big bank, right? You guys worked at, big banks. You were just a number on a page and no one really cares for you. But actually every single person that works for me, I value, and I want them to feel valued as well. So I've just had to learn to give them, they start with a position of trust, and, until they break it, which thankfully no one has so far, we keep it that way, and they all know what needs to be done. So it's a better work environment for everyone then as well. No one wants a micromanager.
Yes, no. And so final question, I think.
I've got it out there. Favorite musician?
Oh, good one.
Oh God.
Yeah, this will help the audience understand who you are, Tim.
I have a lot of very odd music tastes, because there's all my classical stuff that obviously I love to listen to. Which it's a very long list. If I'm just listening on Spotify, I kind of have a few different phases. I have all the bands that I listened to when I was an angsty teenager. So all Silverchair, Something for Kate, all the good Aussie, Aussie bands of that era.
Yep.
And then the angry Linkin Park and stuff like that. And then but then I'm really into
gym podcast.
I'm really into EDM and house as well. So it really depends on my mood sometimes. But I guess the nature of me is I like a lot of different things. I don't like to be bored.
And final tip to leave today with the listeners with, I guess. Broad, so could be mortgage related.
Final tip
could be or number one tip.
Number one tip for anyone out there.
Yeah, so it could be Singapore related, could be mortgage related, could be just
I think the biggest, maybe if I think about it, what's a big summation of my time here. If you talk to me in school, I never wanted to be a mortgage broker. I never wanted to be a banker, but you get opportunities given to you in life, right? And coming here was, again, 10 years ago, if you'd ever told me I had my own business and that I'd, be doing everything that I'm doing now, I never would have believed it in my life, right? But there are certain points in your life where, it's like a sliding doors moment sometimes, right? Yeah. There is opportunity put in front of you. Biggest thing is take them if they're there, and don't be afraid to bet on yourself. That's the thing I had to learn, because the hardest thing starting the business was believing I could do it.
Yeah.
Because especially when you've been an employee your whole life and you think you're going to be a career banker, you're like, can I actually do this on my own? How do I even register a company? How do I set it, get all these things set up? How do I register a website? But you just learn. You learn as you go.
Take that leap.
Don't be afraid to bet on yourself and to make it happen. You'll learn it on the way. Yeah.
Start with the name. Relatable name.
Yes. Exactly.
Very good.
It can give you some direction.
Yep.
So
Well,
cool.
Tim, thank you. That was really interesting. I personally really enjoyed it. What about yourself there?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Thank you for listening. And,
thank you, everyone.
Yeah, if you liked what you heard today, please give it a like and a subscribe, and pass it on to just one person. So thank you for listening, and thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.